Right. Welcome out to episode number 2 of the Coach Travis Chrisman weekly podcast. So we bring in the head man for Ingleside football here every Thursday and talk Ingleside Mustangs football. So on the screen, I have the head coach, athletic director of the Ingleside Mustangs, Coach Chrisman. Coach, how are you doing this afternoon?
Doing well, doing well.
Thank you for taking some time and coming out again this Thursday to talk Ingleside Mustangs football, coach. And you guys had a bye last week. And so I'm sure you and your coaches and your players are anxious to get on that football field and play some more football right this Friday since you were off last week.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt about it. It's bye week. I think came at a really good time, but we're all scratching that itch right now. Get back out
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely. And coach, I want to go back to 2 weeks ago. You had your first district game. You played the West Oso Bears, a team that was coming in one. I think they had one win. I think I remember. But this is a team with speed and a lot of talent. Oh, dangerous team, right? But you guys performed very well. You got a big win over the Bears in your first district game, 61-13. There are some players that I thought caught my eye that I would like to kind of get your thoughts on the way they performed against the Bears. But overall, uh, your thoughts on the way your team played offensively and defensively. So you recap kind of that game versus West Oso.
I thought we came out and did okay in our first drive offensively, although I felt like in the first half we didn't click very well. I thought we, aside from our first drive, kind of started slow. We were missing throws, missed a couple blocking assignments. We never really got in rhythm. We struggled defensively, being able to tackle scrambles or extended plays. And we were up 24-0 at halftime, and I really wasn't very happy with our performance. I did not think that we played to our standard. And so I definitely challenged our guys at halftime to give more to their teammates and to the Mustangs, so that we get a better result of what we were really expecting in that game. And we gave up a quick touchdown early on off that first drive. And then after that, we were able to answer right back. And, we blocked the extra point, returned it for 2. That was a really exciting play. And then the very next kickoff return, J.C. Smith housed it. And so we were able to put up 9 points without running an offensive play, which as an offense, you got to love it. And then we were able to really find a rhythm after that and do some really good things offensively. Defensively, with the exception of really one drive, we gave up a huge home run up the middle to number 5, who's a stud athlete for West Oso. And really, other than that drive, I thought our guys played really, really well in the second half, especially defensively.
They did, coach. And it's amazing that you say that about the start of the game because when the first quarter ended, and I looked at TJ and he looked at me and he said, I know we're up, but we this kind of feels weird. We're not playing good football, right? And I looked at him and I said, I get the same feeling. I know we're up, but it doesn't really seem like we're playing Ingleside Mustang football. Because you're right, it just didn't. It felt like we were kind of sluggish, right? It looked
Yep.
like Ingleside came out a little sluggish, even though the Mustangs were winning. I was just like, it just still doesn't seem right. It just doesn't seem like they're on point like we had seen prior. So yeah, you're right. It's amazing you say that because TJ and I kind of looked at each other and said, "Man, I'm not liking the way they're coming out and playing right now." But
No, not at all.
to your
We were,
credit,
they got quite the message at halftime,
yeah,
but to their credit, they answered the bell. That's what we always talk about. When the bell is rung, you're either going to cave in or you're going to challenge it. And luckily, we came out and challenged it.
absolutely. And in those games, right, your quarterback was big time for you in that West Oso game. Number 3, Aidan Jakobsohn, right? He was 19 of 34 for 241 yards. He had 4 touchdowns. What's more impressive to me was he has 7 rushes for 72 yards and 1 TD.
Yep.
So we know what he can do. And I think that's another thing that kind of gets lost because when people talk about Ingleside, it's everybody talks about the pass, the receivers, and Jacobson, the connection. People really don't talk about what he can do. We usually don't see him run or the 2 games that I've seen thus far, but he has the capability of extending plays if he needs to. And he did this with the yardage that he got. Just your thoughts on the way your quarterback performed.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
No, he's really, really good about extending a play. And the thing with Aidan is that in the pocket or when he's evading, he's I wouldn't say he's fast, but he's very, very quick. I mean, he's very quick. He has enough speed to be lethal out of the pocket. But he's so quick. I mean, he's our school record holder in the shuttle, in the pro agility. So, I mean, that's really easy to see when he is able to make a move, stop on a dime, and change direction really, really well. And has made some really big plays doing that this year. But really, these past 2 or 3 games, he's made more plays with his feet these past 2 or 3 games than the rest of the season combined. And, he's got a couple touchdowns to show for it. And he's being able to show that that he's not just going to stand there in the pocket and pick people apart, that he can make things happen with his feet too.
Yes, and I think that's for defenses that have to try to game plan for your offense. That's just another weapon that they have to be worried about. And the thing with Jakobsohn to me, and I've only seen a couple of games, and I'll see more. I'll see him again tomorrow night. He's just calm, coach. He's
Very.
just a very calm. He doesn't get rattled. He just kind of he's got a high IQ, I would imagine, for
Yep.
football. He just understands what the defense is doing, and he's very good at taking what the defense gives you. He understands about, look, I don't got to score the big throw every time. Look, I can 4 yards, I can run and get the first down, extend the play. Just a very smart quarterback is what I see that you have there in Ingleside, and that's just a plus if you're a head coach to have a quarterback like that playing for you. The other player here against West Oso that I thought was big time for you was your quarterback, or your running back. I'm sorry, number 20, Nathan Ambrose, 11 carries for 76 yards. He had 2 TDs. Ambrose is kind of like on the quiet side, right? Because people, when they talk about Ingleside, when I talk about Ingleside, everybody wants to talk about Jakobsohn and the Smith boys, and
Sure.
you know, but Ambrose is big time for you. He's a big, powerful runner. That if he gets to that second level, he's gonna pound somebody. And coach, he's got that speed as well. Talk about
Absolutely.
yes, talk about your running back in this game, but what he's meant to your offense this year.
No, Nate's been a dude for us all year long. And I mean, he's only 180 yards shy of 1,000 right now. So he's going to get there before the regular season ends. He's got 14 touchdowns on the ground, and he's got almost another 100 yards receiving. So, I mean, he's a huge staple in what we do offensively. I mean, because we're truly, yes, we throw the ball a lot, but, we only have, I think, let me think about this, 12. We only have 14 more passing attempts. No, 14. 18 more passing attempts this year than we do rushing attempts.
Wow.
So, I mean, we're pretty balanced in what we do, and of course, we RPO quite a bit. But Nate's made some huge plays for us this year. He got some playing time last year, but not a whole lot. Wasn't a fixture in the offense last year, and he's been paramount to what we do because he's like you said, he's a tough runner. If he breaks to the second level, there's not many people that can catch him. Runs very hard. He's slippery for a kid who's pretty tall. He's a tall running back, man, standing at almost 6'1". But he had such a great spring in running track, and was a hundredth of a second away from qualifying for state in the 200. So, I mean, he's that type of runner. He's strong. He doesn't have a burst and die out. He just keeps going. So, we're really happy with the production that Nate's been able to give our offense this year.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, when you look at this single side offense, I don't know, coach, if you have a weakness really. That it just y'all study your film over and over a few times during the week when I got time to sit here, and it's
Mm-hmm.
impressive to me. I'm like, I don't know if he's got a weakness. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just threats all over the field. That's just got to
Yeah.
be really, really great for you to see that your first year there at Ingleside. And then we go back to another receiver that I think is really good when I see on film, and that's your number 13, Javier Solis the third. He's a
Mm-hmm.
junior. He'll be back next year. He had 4 receptions in this game for 61 yards. But the one thing that's impressive to me, he's a go. Like I know we go to J.C. Smith a lot, but when you need a big play, he's got great hands. He's going to come up with a big play. He's going to extend that play. I mean, he's been very impressive when I've seen him. Don't talk a lot about him, but that is another threat that if you don't pay attention to him, he's going to hurt you and pick you apart in that secondary. Talk about his performance against West Oso.
Yeah, I mean, and Javi too. What a lot of people don't realize. I mean, Javi may not have the yards. I mean, he's third in our team in yards, but he's second in receptions. He's only got 10 less receptions than JC.
Mm.
So he's a frequent flyer, you know what I mean, in terms of targeting. Javi had a breakout game against Carrizo Springs, where he had his first 100-yard plus game, had a deep touchdown. And then, made several deep grabs, had a 19-yard catch, had an 18-yard catch, and can just, he's really good about being able to catch a ball at 4 to 5 and turn it into 8 to 10. And then we can catch somebody sleeping. He can run right past somebody and catch one for 30 plus. So, I mean, Javi's done a really good job this year, especially it's his first year playing receiver. So he was their JV quarterback last year running the slot T. And so we felt that this year Javi was going to, the best way he could contribute to our team was being that slot receiver, and has done a good job. And, the encouraging thing about him is he works his tail off, and he really, really concentrates on what he can do better. And he's always asking questions and, wants to be the best that he can be. And, he's got some good role models in the senior class to follow, especially in Aidan and JC, because their work ethic is pretty unmatched. And Javi gets as close to those guys as possible. He's still growing. He's still getting better every week. And the longer we play, the better he's going to get. And the higher his production will be too. He's been a really valuable part to our offense.
Yeah, and I when I see him, he doesn't shy away from the moment, right? I need to get a first down. And Jacobson looks for him. I want the ball. Give it to me. I'm going to be open and I'm going to get the first down. It's what you see on film. And so I was like, I gotta ask coach about him because he's really, really impressive. And he's big time. I just love the way he catches the ball. He doesn't drop too many of them. You can go to him. So that's just another threat on top of the other two receivers that you have. So just a little example of what Coach Chrisman has on the offense here that we're talking about, playmakers all over the field. So God, it's just got to be great. So I can't wait, Coach, for the game against Robstown. I think it's going to be a great one tomorrow. Let's talk about your defense, because everybody knows when you talk about Ingleside, everybody wants to talk about the offense, right? And rightfully so. But that defense for you is great as well. They've only given up 112 total points on the season. The season is almost over here. That to me is impressive. And when I watched that film against West Oso, Coach, they were all over the field. The coverage was great, of course, on the secondary, but the pressure that quarterback felt, he was rushed pretty much the whole night. I mean, he didn't have time to sit back there and pick this defense apart. He had to rush a lot of passes. He was getting frustrated. I could see that. There was frustration on the West Oso coach's side as well. But the reality is he was pressured. There wasn't very much time. He couldn't get into a rhythm. So just kind of talk about your defense and their performance against West Oso.
Yeah, and I think it all started with our defensive line. I thought they played exceptionally well. We got Wade Johnson and Manny Hinojosa and Javier Solis. We have two Javi Solises. Javi, and they're both juniors. So we have a Javi D tackle, and then we have Javi as the slot receiver. And like you said, they got some great pressure. Parker DeLacy is another one that plays a lot for us, and Joshua Stillman too. And, we were able to get pressure, like you said, all night. I thought that their tenacity was a lot better than it had been in the past couple games. Our contain was way better. We were able to get sacks. We forced a huge turnover on the -1 yard line, and we're able to go convert that. And that's when JC broke the touchdown record with his one-handed grab. But that we don't get that unless we get a forced turnover. So that was a huge moment for our defense. And we're continuing to get better, and we're getting better at tackling. And we've got a very, very athletic secondary. And so those guys are getting better every week too. So, we're trying to tie all this together. And good thing for us is that we have not peaked yet. And we're continuing to get better, and that's all we can ask our kids to do.
And that's scary to me. When Coach Chrisman says we haven't hit our peak yet, that's scary because what you see from that secondary, and it's a very talented with a lot of speed back there. And when you get pressure on that quarterback and he feels like he has to rush the ball to throw it, and throws it. And with that athleticism and talented secondary that you have, they jumped that route and it's going the other way. And that's what I think it's real impressive. So for you to say we still really haven't hit our peak, we're still getting better. I'm thinking to
Yeah.
myself as I'm sitting here, oh my goodness, this defense
Yeah.
can get better because it's a good defense. It's a great offense, I think. And boy, you guys are really having an amazing season, coach.
Yeah.
Great coaching over there by yourself and your assistants, because I think they're doing a great job.
No,
Um,
they definitely are.
yes, sir. Let's talk a little bit about the other levels of the Mustangs and your junior varsity and freshman. Now they
Mhm.
were off. They also had the bye week when you were off, but against that West Oso. Not sure if they won, but just get if you could recap what they did in their last game, both freshmen and JV.
Yeah, no, we played split sides that night. Our JV beat West Oso, I believe it was 32 or 33-6, maybe. So they got a good win. Had a really good win there. I think we forced 5 turnovers defensively, I
Mm.
believe. Played really, really well defensive. I think we had a pick six as well. But no, those kids played really, really well. And then our lower level, our JV White, which is primarily freshmen, went over to Alice and played their freshman B team, and we're able to get a win out there as well. So, we at the secondary level, we're able to make a clean sweep of every game and went 3-0 last week, and can't ask for much more than that.
Cannot. That's great, coach. And then the middle school, I know they got a bye this week. I believe coming up. I
Mm-hmm.
believe I was told, but they played Tuesday. I'm not sure. I know the eighth grade A. They told me took a loss to Orange Grove, but just your overthought on how they played this last week.
I thought they played well. They competed, and that's what we're asking for right now. We've still got a lot of growth in our seventh and eighth grade guys, especially with them doing something offensively and defensively they've never done before. So they've done an awesome job embracing that. Those kids work their tails off, and they come ready to work, and they come ready to hit every day. And so that's the most encouraging part for us. And it also helps, we've got some pretty talented kids too at the seventh and eighth grade level. So we're really excited about the future. We have good numbers. We have higher numbers than we've, I think, had here in a little while, according to these guys that have been here. And there's talent there too. It's not just numbers. So we're going to continue to help develop those guys and continue getting better. I mean, we took 2 losses against Orange Grove, and they were very talented Orange Grove varsity team or junior high teams. We were able to do some good things, but we also missed out on some opportunities, and that's just going to come with more reps, more growth, and just getting a better overall grasp of what we're doing schematically. So we're very encouraged by our junior high programs.
Also, mine, I know some parents there, and I've seen some individual talent. And yes, I think they're going to continue to get better on the offensive side and on the defensive side. I've seen that as well. And something that
Mm-hmm.
we want to talk with you about as the season continues to see what's happening at that level, because in a few years, they'll be playing on Friday nights there for the Ingleside
Yep.
Mustangs, right? So definitely want to talk about them. Coach, I do have a question for you I wanted to ask. And so to me, we're podcasters here, so we talk all the time and we make predictions and we think and we want to talk. And of course, you still got a couple weeks away, but here with my crew, it's always coming down to Ingleside and sitting. That's just what we do. I'm not going to get into
Mm-hmm.
that with you yet till that week comes, but
Yeah.
it's fun for us to talk about that. But you are on your way to possibly an undefeated season, coach. You're 7-0 right now, I believe, and
Yep.
this could very well end 10-0 for you, undefeated as a district champion. That's very much in your grasp. So just wanted to get your thoughts if you and the players ever discuss that now, before the season. Oh, look, we can probably, because I'm sure players know, hey, we could go undefeated. Is that something that's discussed? And if you did go undefeated and win your first district title, what would that mean to you, your assistant coaches, and the players?
I mean, it would be huge. I don't think Ingleside's had a share or one district, I think, since 2015 ish.
Mm.
And it's usually, it's historically it runs through Sinton. And that everybody knows that. I mean, Sinton's always they've been a juggernaut for a long time in this region, and are coached extremely well. They do a great job with their program. So, if we can find a way to disrupt that, we're going to do our absolute best that we can. Yes, we do know that 10-0 is possible, although it's not something that I bring up every day, because we're trying to take this 1 week at a time. We don't want to overlook anybody. And if we make that mistake, then shame on us, because we can't be and I tell these guys every week, like, we can't be 9-0 without being 8-0. And that's what our talk is this week. Like, we can't go ahead and start game planning for Orange Grove before we play Robstown, because they've got enough firepower to come up and surprise us. So we've got to take care of business. I mean, and they're coached well too. I know Gage, Coach Perry really well. I know does a great job with what they do. And every week from here on out is treated like a playoff game. And if we treat it any other way, we're doing a disservice to our kids.
No, absolutely. And when you look at this district, you're right. Like I said, Robstown, they're good. Coach Perry's doing a great job out there. I would say with that win against Robstown over West Oso, I think they might have put themselves in the playoff spot. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
they've got a lot of excitement going on over there. And why not think they could, I think when you take an Ingleside team that's coming in undefeated, right, for Robstown, they want to get noticed. Look, we take these guys down and people notice us. So you're going to get their best shot, obviously. And then you've got a
100%.
really good Orange Grove team coming in the next week. So you're absolutely right, Coach. We can't look to the last game of the season. We got 2 opponents we got to play now. And so I'm glad that that's the approach that the Mustangs are taking, because it's the first week. Robstown's up now, and that's all we're thinking about. And I think it's going to be a great game on Friday as the Mustangs travel to Robstown. It's a district game there. Game time will start at 7:30. So all Mustang fans, if you can get out there, definitely take that drive out there to Robstown and support your Ingleside Mustangs football. But if you can't make it for whatever the reason, GT Sports will be out in Robstown to live stream the game, and you can watch that on our Gridiron 64 Sports Network Facebook page. That's tomorrow. Game time starts at 7:30. We'll be on air at 7:15. Coach, I've got one more question for you, and then I'll let you go. And that's, of course, the preview, the Robstown game. And as I said, this team is 3-5 right now, but I saw some of the close games they lost. They could have easily been coming into this game 6-2. Very dangerous team that can play, well coached, as you said, with Coach Perry and his assistants. What do the Mustangs need to do in tomorrow's game to get that win offensively and defensively?
Well, we can't come out stagnant. We got to come out firing. We can't wait for momentum to happen. We have to go seize it. We've got to seize it off the bat. And if we can do that, I think that we can take care of business.
Yes, sir. And again, it's going to be a good one. So again, if you can't make it out there, we want all Mustang fans out there. If you can't make it, definitely support your Mustangs through the live stream. Coach, I'll get your final thoughts here. Anything you want to add before we call it a day?
No, appreciate your time as always.
Yes, sir, Coach. Thank you very much. This podcast here will be uploaded. You can catch it when you wake up Friday morning. It'll be there. Actually uploaded, Coach, right around 11 o'clock at night to be ready in the morning. So if you're staying up late tonight, you can catch it. But if not, it'll be uploaded tomorrow morning. You can watch it Friday, tomorrow in the morning. And we'll have Coach Chrisman back next Thursday. Hopefully, Coach, we'll be talking more about the season 8-0 and looking into Orange Grove. So until next Thursday, Coach, thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll be out there around 6:30.
All right. Sounds good. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir, Coach. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you.